Now we're only a few months away from getting the new iPhones that will be coming out in September. But honestly, I think this event's gonna be pretty boring. I'm thinking I'm gonna stick with my 14, honestly. We'll see what the Apple event has in stores. Hey guys, I am Danny, your friendly tech amigo, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. It's free content from me to you. Now, if you missed it, Samsung did just hold down an event for its new flagship phones, you know, the foldable ones. Everything I've seen, everything I've read, the phones are pretty boring. I mean, they're pretty much the same as last year. A few differences here and there on the outside. However, what did change is on the inside, and I've been saying this for years. It's what's in the inside that counts. Now, as far as company-wise, I think it's a lot cheaper to go ahead and give you new software updates rather than give you a whole new hardware update. That's gonna take a lot of money, production, etc, etc. So I think it's a lot cheaper for somebody to just be like, hey, you know what, make this chip that's gonna last us a few years and we can put new items in it as far as 2 or 3 years later. And Apple just did that exact same thing with the new iPad Pro M4 chip. It's got a great chip, a lot of power, but there's no software. So what's all that power going to use for? Now the iPhone 16 will probably be the same looking phone as the iPhone 15. Titanium, 3 cameras for the Pro, 2 cameras for the non-Pro, new capture button. We'll get into that in a little bit. I currently have an iPhone 14. This is my main device for personal use. And then I have the iPhone 11. The iPhone 16 is going to look similar to this iPhone 11. And I'll explain why a little bit later, but this is my work phone. It still does the trick. Send emails, send text, record things, does the trick. So if you're like me and you're coming from an iPhone 14 or previous to the iPhone 14, this is where it gets interesting. Now remember how I talked about those cameras? Well, since the iPhone 13, 14, and 15, the cameras have been diagonal. I'm not talking about the Pro version, I'm talking about the regular people version. Now on the iPhone 16, it's going to be vertical, similar to what we've had from the iPhone 10, 10s, 11, and 12. And why is this, you may ask? I'm glad you asked. They say it's to capture better facial video, which, by the way, you need a $3,500 headset just to play that back. I'm not falling for that one, Apple. But along with the camera, you will get a new button. And I'm not talking about that action button that I think nobody uses on the iPhone 15. I'm talking about a camera button, where this may act like a camera shutter button, like a regular camera, like the one I'm filming on right now. So if you short press it, it can focus on different subjects. And if you long press it, that's when it will actually take the picture. And there are rumors that you might be able to swipe left and right to activate the zoom in and zoom out. But if you know me, I love a good button, so I can't wait to see this button in action. No pun intended. Now, speaking about the iPhone 16 normal lineup, it's going to stay the same size, 6.1 for the normal and 6.7 for the Plus. However, on the 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max, 16 Pro will go up to 6.3 inches and the iPhone Pro Max will go all the way up to 6.9 inches. I mean, you might as well just buy an iPad mini at that point. On the Pro models, you will get the thinnest bezels on a flagship phone, and this will be even thinner than Samsung S24 Ultra. Now, I can't say I've tried out a Samsung. I have seen them and they're amazing phones. I'm not going to say anything bad about them. I love tech, anything with tech. The thinnest bezels, I think Apple is going back to the thinnest concepts. So we've had the thinnest iPad, which is the thinnest Apple product ever. Will this new iPhone 16 also be that thin, or will we not see that until the iPhone 17? Hey Danny, you were talking about software, but you're just talking about hardware. Hold your horses, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on, I'm getting to that. Now in WWDC, Apple did announce a bunch of AI things, and I'm not talking about artificial intelligence. I'm talking about Apple Intelligence. Yes, they called it Apple Intelligence. Okay, good. And the event was pretty cool. I mean, we saw like a bunch of things that will be coming out. This is actually pretty good. I can't wait to test this out. I'm gonna download the developer beta and test these out. No, first of all, you can't even get the Apple Intelligence unless you have an iPhone 15 Pro or Pro Max. Not only that, this is probably not going to be available to anybody until early 2025. No mames, Apple. Why do you do this? Why do you, I mean, you're like Tesla now. Like they rolled out the Cybertruck. They said, hey, you want to buy it? Cool. Purchase it now and I'll give it to you 3 years later. That's not cool. But what is cool is you go ahead and subscribing to me. No, I'm not playing. Now the actual cool thing is that Apple has been always talking about privacy. Whether we believe them or not, they try to show it. And with this new artificial intelligence, they want to do something new. Now, we've known that also Apple doesn't do the first of anything, but they try to do it the best way they can. And they want to try to do this the best way they can based on privacy, making sure your data is not going back and forth to a server. Better yet, the least possible amount of times that it has to go back and forth to a server. They want to do everything on device, which is something that is probably a first for anything that has to do with artificial intelligence, or in this case Apple Intelligence, because most of the artificial intelligence that is out now, it does have to communicate with the server, and we don't know what that server is. And that time where it goes from your device to that server, that is a vulnerable area where data brokers or data hackers or whatever you want to call them can grab your data. It could be your phone, it could be your email ad, it could be your actual address, anything. And they can use that data and sell it to other people to offer you more things online, etc., etc. So this is where a piece of the hardware comes in, which is the new A18 Pro chip. It's supposed to have more cores. The iPhone itself is supposed to have more RAM. It's supposed to have more neural engine cores, which is going to help immensely when it comes to the Apple Intelligence. Not sure how many cores yet, but it's supposed to have more. Now, Apple did say something new, which is the private cloud compute, which is basically going to have servers outside of your device, which Apple Intelligence will have to communicate with them in order to do some more heavy tasks. However, Apple did say that this will be the most secure and that all these servers will be ran by Apple first to ensure that they do meet the privacy guidelines, kind of like the Apple Store, where you can't just put anything on your iPhone, well, except for the EU, because now you can sideload, but that's a whole different story. Basically, they're gonna ensure that the server or cloud service is meeting these privacy requirements from Apple, and then they'll say, okay, we can use you guys. And if you have iCloud account, I mean, you have a miniature VPN with Apple, so it's still going to be a ongoing battle. This has just begun. Come back to my channel later, subscribe now, ring the bell. It's going to be a battle for a long time. But yeah, that's it. Couple camera specs here and there, but mostly it's going to be the same phone. Are you upgrading? Don't forget to subscribe. I am Danny, your friendly tech amigo, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.